You're looking at arguably the greatest flex in the history of, well, civilization, humanity. Let's play the video.
Latest, Lucas, what new information do you have for us tonight?
Well, good evening, Katie. Where did those other 31 bombs and missiles come from? They came from U.S. military fighter jets, which were the first into Iran ahead of the B-2 strike to launch this operation. Here was the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, General Dan Raisin Kane.
The U.S. employed several deception tactics, including decoys, as the fourth and fifth generation aircraft pushed out in front of the strike package at high altitude and high speed, sweeping in front of the package for enemy fighters and surface-to-air missile
Who
threats.
else is going to be able to do this shit?
Now, this mission began with
Nobody.
deception. 9 B-2 stealth bombers took off from Whiteman Air Force Base in Missouri just after midnight early Saturday. 2 flew west over the Pacific to act as decoys.
We know.
But 7 of those B-2s did not fly west. They flew quietly to the east, not squawking with minimal communication. Their destination, Iran's underground nuclear facilities, of course. The B-2s entered Iranian airspace at 6 p.m. Eastern. 40 minutes later, those B-2s dropped those 14 massive bunker-busting bombs, 12 hit the underground uranium enrichment site in Fordo,
Oh
2
my
struck
goodness.
Natanz. And at the same time, those 15-ton bombs hit their targets. 30 Tomahawk cruise missiles launched from a guided missile submarine, just one, Katie, slamming into the nuclear site in Isfahan, the third target.
Oh my
And
goodness.
this afternoon, those B-2s landed back home at their base in Missouri to complete their 37-hour.
It was almost like we didn't even try.
At least 3 times in the air each way. And Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth says this mission against Iran is not open-ended. It does not seek regime change. Katie?
From the air and the sea. Thank you, Lucas. Amazing.
Oh, of course not.
All right, well, the United States successfully attacked 3...
I'm going to pause it. Of course we don't seek regime change. We don't give a fuck what Iran does because they're a bunch of sand niggers. Sand niggers are going to sand nigger. But we did put them in their place, and we reminded them that they are, in fact, a third world country. I don't know if they're technically considered a third world country. I don't know what the fuck they are, but they sure as hell ain't on our level. Our military is the greatest military to have ever existed. Our civilization is the greatest civilization to have ever existed, minus the trannies and all the faggots and all the illegal immigrants and all that shit. But thank God we got the greatest leader of all time, destroying all of it, tearing all it apart, getting rid of it, and oh my God, it's not even been a year, and we already just shit down the mouth, shit down the throats of, a nuisance. I wouldn't call Iran a threat, I'd call him a nuisance. Kind of like that mouse or that rat that you sort of have a little bit of trouble trapping. Well, we just shit down their throat. And they're scrambling and crying and screaming for help, and nobody's gonna fucking help them. Because they know what that means. Helping them would be opposing us. And that's the greatest mistake anybody could make. There's only 2 other countries, baby. There's only 2 other countries that could even have a shot at taking us down. And they know better. Operation Midnight Hammer was a success.